The purpose of this video is to show you how to edit files in Google Drive and install Google Drive onto your computer. So now that you've got your files and folders into your Google Drive, you may be wondering, so how do I work with and edit those documents? Well, if you have a document or a file such as an image file, like this right here, there's no need to edit that image file. You can't edit that image file. So it's pretty simple. The file is just there for you to work with however you want. I can click here and I can download that file out if I want, and now I have an image file that I can insert into a Word document, or I can add it to a web page that I'm working on, whatever I want to do. That's pretty simple. Where it starts to get a little tricky is where you have non-Google files, okay? So for example, this right here is a Google document. I can tell by this icon right here. If I click on that Google document, it's going to open up in a new window. This is basically like a web page, okay? So this is a web page that I can come in here. I can make edits to. Those edits automatically save. So I can see right here where it says all changes saved in my drive. I can close out of that document. And now when I reopen that document, boom, my edits are still there automatically saved for me. Super simple. Where it gets a little tricky is when you're working with non-Google documents in Google Drive. For example, like this Microsoft Word document right here. If I click and open this Microsoft Word document, I get basically a preview of that document. So you can see I can't click in here, I can't edit that Word file. I'm just seeing like an image preview of that. In order for me to be able to edit that file and save the changes I made into Google Drive, this is where it gets just a titch bit tricky. But once you understand the process, it's pretty simple. If I, right now, from working from the Google Drive website, want to edit this Word file, I actually have to download it off of Google Drive. So to do that, I click up here on this More Actions button and click on Download. And you'll see it appear down here in my Downloads file in Google Chrome. So if I click and open that file, now look, I can edit that file all I want. Now I've got a full version of Microsoft Word. I can do whatever I want to with that Microsoft Word file. The trick is, if I go to save that Microsoft Word file, so I click on Save, and I exit out of it, and then I go here and open up that Word file again, where did my edits go? Oh no. The trick is when you click on Download and download that file, you're taking that file out of the cloud and moving it to the local storage of your computer. So if I go here and download this file again, because I made that one edit to it, I open it up, no edit. Because when I clicked on save on that file, I was saving it to the local storage of my computer, not to Google Drive, okay? So in order for me to be able to save the edit that I made to that document into Google Drive, which you can see right here in this downloaded version, is I would have to re-upload that file into my Google Drive. In other words, I would have to go here, click on New, click on File Upload. Here it is right here in my Downloads folder. Because remember, I took that file off of the cloud, I saved it onto the local storage of my computer in my Downloads folder, because that's where it went when I clicked on Download. I made that edit, so now this is the saved version of it. I click on Open. It uploads that file into here. Now look, I've got two files, Word files now, but if I click on this one and preview it, there's my edit, because I have now re-uploaded that edited file from local storage on my computer back into the cloud. Now you might be thinking, well, that just seems like too much work for me to be able to do, and I absolutely agree. That is not the most optimum, ideal way to use Google Drive. The most ideal way to use Google Drive when working with non-Google files, remember that part. This is only when you're working with non-Google files like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, etc., is to download Google Drive to your computer. And when you do that, when you download Google Drive to your computer, what it does is when you open up the files on your computer, you will see an additional folder called Google Drive. So you can see right here, I have a folder called Google Drive. So in addition to my downloads folder, I've got my desktop folder, my documents, I also have Google Drive right here. What this does is it takes and it syncs everything that you have in your Google Drive to your local storage on your computer. And it's a two-way sync. So, for example, if I now go and open a Microsoft Word document from the Google Drive folder on my computer, let's see if I can find one in all of my files. Maybe not. Let's see, I've got to have one somewhere. You can tell I don't use Microsoft Word very often. Mostly use Google Docs. Let's see. Oh, I know where I have one. I've got one in here. Okay, here we go. Here's a Microsoft Word document right here. So if I open up this Microsoft Word document, I'm now in a Word document. I'm just going to make an edit to it so we can see that edit really clearly. Okay, I'm going to click on to save. And remember when we did this before, I clicked on to save and I exited out. And then I went into my Google Drive and that edit was not saved because we were not synced to Google Drive. But now, since I am synced to Google Drive by downloading Google Drive to my computer, if I go and find that exact same Word file that I just made the edit to, which I believe was this one, it may not have synced yet. We'll see. Oh, nope, it already did. So you can see right there. In that amount of time, it already synced the edit I made on from the hard drive of my computer to Google Drive. So when you download Google Drive to your computer, you are basically making it do a two-way sync from here, from the files on your computer, to here, Google Drive in the cloud. Okay? Remember, this becomes really important when you're working with non-Google documents. If you don't plan to work with non-Google documents, syncing these two, downloading Google Drive and having this two-way sync isn't quite as important. But it's really important when working with those non-Google files. Otherwise, you have to download those files off of the cloud, make the edit, and re-upload them into Google Drive. So, if you're interested in downloading Google Drive to your computer, all you have to do is go to this website, google.com/drive/download, or, good trick, just Google download drive. I just did a Google search for download drive and boom, right there. First option I get is the exact same website. So either or, it'll take you to the same place, and then you'll be able to scroll over this little download drive option and choose what platform you have. You'll probably choose this Mac or PC option. Once you do that, it should detect whether you're on a Mac or a Windows computer, and it will download for you. It'll ask you to sign in with the Google Drive account that you would like to sync to your computer. And now this is very important. You can only sync one Google Drive account to your computer. So for example, if you have a work account and a personal account like me, think really carefully about what device you're downloading to and which account you want to sync to that device and sign in with that account. And then depending on how much files and folders you have in your Google Drive, it'll take it a little bit to sync the two. But once it does, if you're on a Mac, you'll see the little Google Drive icon up here. If you're on a Windows computer, you'll see it down in a little taskbar down on the bottom right. And then that means that your Google Drive is syncing. I can right click on that little Google Drive and it tells me that, how much storage I have. It tells me that everything has synced, etc. And that is all there is to editing non-Google files in Drive and installing Drive to your computer.